Everyone, hope you're all well. I wanted to continue on my Legend series, but before that, I just want to say sorry about missing out on something about Saurav Ganguly. He was more than a useful medium pacer, like everyone knows, and he has taken 100 one day international wickets as well and could swing the ball. So I'm sorry about missing that. Today, I wanted to give someone who was a wicketkeeper of the Australian cricket team that rose to world number one status in the early mid 90s and who dominated Test cricket later. And he was also the world record holder for most dismissals by a wicketkeeper when he retired, and someone who will always be remembered between Shane Warne and Mark Taylor, and someone who also captained Australia in eight one day internationals in the absence of Mark Taylor when he was injured, and someone who helped a lot of young wicketkeepers in the world, like Mark Boucher, which I have heard, and a lot of other youngsters as well. He was an inspiration to wicketkeepers, and I am talking about wicketkeeper, fantastic Ian Healy of Australia. He was born 30th April 1964 in Brisbane, Queensland, and he was just an amazing wicketkeeper and someone with a lot of energy and enthusiasm and optimism as well. In all, he played 119 test matches and he scored 4,356 runs with four centuries, and his highest was 161 not out. And there is something a rare occurrence. I mean, his four Test centuries were his four first-class centuries as well, and that doesn't happen that often. And he obviously, he being a wicket keeper, he took 366 catches in Test matches and 29 stumpings, which total was 395, which was a world record. I mean, Rodney Marsh with that magical 355 figure was the world record holder, and Ian Healy broke his world record in 1998. And yeah, eventually, Mark Boucher did break Ian Healy's record as well. And just to mention, I have said that in my video, even the great Dennis Lilly, who obviously played a lot with Rodney Marsh, also ended with 355 test wickets. So it's common to Rodney Marsh and Dennis Lilly. And in one day internationals, Ian Healy played 168 matches for Australia, and he scored close to 1,800 runs. And he took 194 catches and 39 stumpings as well. And there is a record as well. I mean, he's the only Australian to have played that many one day matches for Australia without winning a Cricket World Cup. And he was part of that 1996 Australian team that finished, sorry, runners up in 1996 when they lost to Sri Lanka in that World Cup that was held in India, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan. And Ian Healy was always famous for his combination with Shane Warne. I mean, he was totally outstanding, his wicket keeping against Shane Warne, and definitely Shane Warne elevated his wicket keeping skills as well. I mean, he was just excellent. And there is something also that's a bit crazy. I mean, his first 39 Test matches, Ian Healy, he had only two stumpings. But in 14 Test matches between 1992 and 1993, where Shane Warne rose into the scene, he had 10 batsmen stumped, and he had 52 catches as well, which shows the change that was happening after Shane Warne came into the team. And their combination was just excellent. And he was a very energetic wicketkeeper, and he was always heard motivating the Australian team, and and he was always heard praising Shane Warne a lot for his deliveries, and he always used to say bowling morning. I mean, that is a famous thing in Test cricket. I mean, people who have watched cricket in the 90s will never forget that bowling Warne. And I've also said this in Shane Warne's video and another video, I think. Ian Healy is the one who famously said that Shane Warne's idea of the diet is a double cheeseburger in both hands. So that is something humorous coming from Ian Healy, which is true about Shane Warne. And they had an amazing relationship, both of them. And Mark Taylor, Ian Healy, and Shane Warne, the three of them were just excellent. I mean, keeper and slip, and I mean, they were just an amazing partnership. And Ian Healy also has a rare record with Mark Taylor, something he won't be proud of. I mean, they are the only two cricketers in Test cricket who have been run out in both innings of a Test match on two occasions, Ian Healy and Mark Taylor. And one of my best memories about Ian Healy will be, I mean, there are a lot of obviously memories of Ian Healy, and it's even sad to think about Ian Healy because those were the golden days of Test cricket. But I'll never forget that 1996 Titan Cup that was held in India, South Africa, Australia, and India playing the triangular series. And there was this match, South Africa versus Australia, and Alan Donald was bowling, and he bowled a very sharp bouncer like he normally does. And Ian Healy fended the ball, and the ball was kind of looping up around point area. And trust me, any other fielder, that ball would have landed safely. But unfortunately, that ball was a bit too close for comfort in the vicinity of Jonty Rhodes. And Jonty Rhodes gave a full length dive to his left side, and he took a brilliant, outstanding catch like he always used to do. And that was beautiful to watch. And it was because the ball was looping up, and that dive was just excellent. You can check that maybe on YouTube as well. 1996 Titan Cup, Australia versus South Africa match. And by the way, Ian Healy in 1998, that is when he broke Rodney Marsh's 355 world record dismissals. And he caught Wasim Akram of the bowling of Colin Miller. If people remember, Colin Miller is the one who used to bowl medium pace and also spin with colored hair, etc. And obviously, Wasim Akram is not a bad player to cricketer to have as your record breaking victim. I mean, obviously, I've mentioned in many of my videos in my book, Wasim Akram is by far the world's greatest fast bowler. And Ian Healy, by the way, he has Alyssa Healy, the famous Australian women's cricketer, who is also a wicket keeper and a very explosive batsman. She is Ian Healy's niece, and she is famously married to Australia's spearhead fast bowler Mitchell Stark. So there is a relationship Ian Healy has with Alyssa Healy. And Ian Healy will always be remembered for his energy on the field and some of the humorous comments that he has made. I'm not going to say what he once said about Basit Ali of Pakistan when he was wasting time. And there were a lot of uh, things that Ian Healy said. I even remember in that 1996-97 one day series against South Africa. South Africa were leading the seven-match series 2-1. And Ian Healy was the captain in that match in the absence of Mark Taylor. And Ian Healy was saying before the match that you don't want to lose this match and get down 3-1 to these guys. He was talking about South Africa, that if you go down 3-1, it's not going to be easy to come back and win the series. Obviously, seven-match series. And Australia did actually win that series in South Africa. It was a blockbuster one-day series where South Africa and Australia were really the best two teams by far. And even the advertisement on TV was saying the battle between the two heavyweights of international cricket. I mean, I'll never forget that one day series and test series between South Africa and Australia in the in 97 90. At that time, Hansi Cronje was the captain of South Africa, and Mark Taylor was the captain of Australia as well. So that is kind of my video about Ian Healy. I mean, definitely one of the greatest wicket keepers of all time, and someone who was the wicket keeper when Australia became the most dominant cricket team in the mid 90s, and they were unstoppable after that. And his relationship, personal, and his wicket keeping abilities to Shane Warne was just out of this world. And it was just amazing to watch them. And I just want to say thank you so much to Ian Healy for great memories from the mid 90s. The energy that you showed, the passion that you showed, the understanding of the game that you showed, the way you helped young wicket keepers were all a testimony to the great cricketer, the great wicket keeper that you were. And wish you all the best. Thank you, everyone. Take care. God bless you.